Bernie Sanders asked people on Twitter to share details about the most absurd medical bill they've ever received. And the responses are devastating, which is unsurprising if you live in the United States and you've ever had to deal with the healthcare system here. Now, he received tens of thousands of responses. I've chosen a few of them to share with you today, just to really highlight the severity of the healthcare crisis in America. So one person on Twitter, her name is Becca, received a bill for $103,000, more than $103,000. How does someone pay for that? It's out of control. I'll give you another example. This is actually a tweet by Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire. A few years ago in the ER with my daughter suffering a severe asthma attack, rep from billing came in and made us pay $300 before they would send in a doctor to give her a breathing treatment. That's the country we're living in. This is the profit motive behind the insurance industry. It's not about saving lives. It's not about keeping people healthy. It's all about the money. It's all about the profit motive.
Yeah, so look, I'm a little proud that a lot of folks associated with TYT are quoted in all these articles. Farron Cousins is obviously part of Ring Fire, as Anna told you, part of the TYT network. One of the next quotes was from Amy Villela. She was not only a Just Democrat, but came and co-hosted the show with us before. She's wonderful, her story is so touching. Let me get to it in a second. But all of these stories, it's really quite barbaric.
Yes.
And other countries have trouble understanding it. So let me try to give you some perspective on it. You know, if you watch the Young Turks a long time, you've probably heard me say this before, but a lot of folks have never thought of it this way. A lot of the stories talked about, are you in network, are you not in network, and then we're gonna treat you or not treat you, or we're gonna bankrupt your family or not bankrupt your family based on whether your doctor, oftentimes in an emergency situation, is in network or not. So imagine if your house is on fire and your kids are inside, and the fire department comes and asks if you're in network. That would be the craziest thing you ever heard, right? What do you mean? Who cares? Go save my kids.
Right.
But look at the story Farron Cousins just told. His kid can't breathe, and they're like, well, I mean, I don't know. I got to check your paperwork. Are you, do you have the right kind of insurance? Are you in network? Have you filled out the right paperwork? My kid can't breathe. Get a goddamn doctor, right? And okay, fine, but now it's going to cost you. Now we're gonna take your house. We're gonna take your house.
That's right, yeah.
Because you were worried that your kid couldn't breathe.
There's a record number of senior citizens, retired Americans, going into bankruptcy today because of the fact that healthcare costs are so outrageously expensive. So look, Medicare is a great program, but it's not Medicare for all, because Medicare for all expands Medicare. It takes care of everything, including, by the way, coverage for things that aren't covered at all right now. Vision and dental are included in the Medicare for All proposal. But I'm bringing this up because you're right. So many people are going bankrupt. They're losing their homes. They're losing everything that they worked for. So if you are an upper middle class American and you're thinking, I'm good, everything's fine, like the system's working out for me, look at me, I'm doing great. All it takes is one illness, and I think about this all the time, Cenk. All it takes is one illness that you suffer or a member of your family suffers for it to all be wiped away, right? You might not have the right insurance. You might not go to the right doctor who's in network when you get the treatment that you need. Whatever it is, you make one little mistake and all of a sudden you're slapped with a bill that you can't afford. That's the country that we're living in right now, which is why for me, and I want to be really clear about this because there's a lot of debate about, oh, well, who are you going to support? Who are you going to endorse? For me, the non-negotiable is Medicare for all. The candidate has to support Medicare for all. Everyone has different priorities and different things that they care about. For me, fixing the healthcare system in this country is the most important. I'm not having a discussion about a private option. I don't believe in creating a two-tiered healthcare system in America because we already see what a two-tiered system looks like when it comes to education in America. So I absolutely think that Medicare for all is what we need to push for, and any discussion about any other plan, non-negotiable.
So what drives me crazy is the mainstream media, and we'll get back to the tweets in 1 second. Because they keep saying like people love their private insurance. This is the private insurance Americans love? No, you're conflating doctors and their providers and their hospitals and the people who treat them, who they do care about, with their private insurance, which is a bureaucracy that stands in the way between them and their doctors and their care. No one loves their private insurance. It's paperwork, it's red tape, it's bureaucracy. It's what the right wing claims Americans hate when it comes to like things that they associate with big government, but it's really big bureaucracy. And in this case, it's not on behalf of the American people, it's on behalf of the profits of private insurance industry.
Yes.
So now give you more.
So this is Amy Villela's tweet. She says, my daughter Shaylene's $350,000 medical bill to die a needless death. Treating her and saving her life would have only cost $1,500. All because she couldn't provide proof of insurance.
So Amy's talked about that on this show, but you could also see a big part of that story in Knock Down the House, which is on Netflix. It's a documentary about Amy and 3 other Just Democrats, including AOC, while they were running for office. And the story of how her daughter died is the most heartbreaking thing you'll ever see in your life. And they wouldn't treat her because of the paperwork. And then it costs so much more. All they had to do was, it would have just cost $1,500 to treat her and save her life. Instead, she dies, and then they hand him a $350,000 medical bill. The degree to which that is barbaric is unbearable. And yet, almost every news anchor says, oh, Americans love their private insurance.
It's sick, yeah, and it's just not true.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.